This is the heartbeat of our sporting nation.
It's the Cats.
Our home.
It's over. It's all over. The drought.
Today, our biggest day is reunited with its soul.
That culture, the Bloods.
And somehow, everything feels right. The MCG is our theatre. Here we witness the stories we live to tell. 52 years ago, Alex Jesselenko entered football immortality in this spot. And so did our most famous catch cry.
Oh, Jesselenko, you're guilty!
Right here, Don Sheed made thousands of hearts race while simultaneously breaking thousands more.
Needs to be inch perfect, he is! He's got the most impossible goal!
Along this wing, a game changer ran like the wind.
Still going. 30 metres out.
Was it touched? We'll never know. Marlon Pickett has a tale to tell. One of redemption that found him center stage on debut.
Marlon Pickett lines up! Look at them get around him!
What Marlon did that day is the stuff of legend. Today, we wait to find out what will unfold in our theatre of dreams. Could it be a story of resilience?
Paddy McCartan was also out for the day with concussion.
Only a few years ago, Paddy McCartan thought he'd never play football again. Now, he seeks premiership glory alongside his brother Tom. Patrick Dangerfield has done it all, except for one thing.
Oh, he's on. He's on the danger.
Will his fingerprints finally mark our holy grail? In 2008, Lance Franklin and Joel Selwyn went head-to-head on Grand Final Day.
Oh, he's done it. He's done it.
14 years on, they meet again, but this time as two of our all-time greats.
If anybody can, Selwyn can. Franklin! The greatest show on earth.
And finally, the tales of two clubs that have delivered sustained success like no other.
And then Hawkins does it again.
The Malcheski, is that the grand final?
The Cats have dominated all season long.
Cracking finish.
They're primed for this moment.
And Hamilton home.
They live for it.
It's like an arrow.
And the Swans will do what Sydney always do.
That is brilliant.
Never give an inch.
It's there.
It's the Bloods
The
culture.
Swans will play in the last game of the season.
These are their stories. But magically, they're also ours.
It's going to be a draw.
We share them. We live them on this ground.
That's the play of the game.
When the sun sets on season 2022, what tales will be told in our theatre of dreams.
Never in the history of the AFL Grand Final have two teams come in this hot. The best are here. And this magnificent place is ready to host the 2022 AFL Grand Final. Teams are not far away. And we can get down to ground level. Happy Holmes.
Delivery of the match day ball. If everyone can please turn their attention to the big screens.
Here it comes, delivered by Parachute. Oh, no!
Oh, no!
This is going to be a huge clanger. Who's going to sort this out?
Get it to the game.
Call it the newest wonder. Call it the future trend. It's got the sauce, the bop, cherry on top, the side of joy with it.
Next ball.
So come on, reach out.
Good on you, Simon.
Simon. Join the applause. Let's hear some oohs and ahs. Everything you want is here. Right in the land of Jesus.
Popping up and down like a cork in the ocean.
Gil. Sorry, mate. Full house.
Big things are coming.
And what an incredible journey that ball has made, thanks to Amy. And it has finally arrived and handed over here at the MCG. And shortly, that young man there will hand it to the 3 officiating umpires. Here they come now. And what a job. Matt Stevic, grand final number 10. And, of course, Simon Meredith, front right there, grand final number 7. And Brendan Hosking accepting the football, his first grand final as an umpire. We have the best umpires in the business that are here on this big day today. Geelong looking for their 10th flag, Sydney looking for their 6th. And as JB mentioned, the Swans looking for 10 straight and the Cats 16 straight. Hodgie, what are you looking forward to most about today?
Well, BT, we know that blitzers can play so many different roles. And we want to see what Chris Scott's got in mind. But then there's O'Connor who comes in. Does he go to Papali? Does he go to Parker? And then we've got Mills. Does he go to Paddy Dangerfield, who his explosion from the stoppage and his ability to be able to push forward and kick goals got him best on ground last week against the Lions. So there's so much to look forward to in such a big game.
Well, it's all come to this days, and you must be sitting there absolutely unbelievable entertainment we've just had, and now we're about to see the best spectacle of all.
Yeah, the entertainment was great. Robbie Williams, brilliant. But this is what we're all here for, the grand final. And I can't wait to see what Sydney are going to do about Tom Stewart. I mean, got the option to equalise, go and send someone to him, or they back their ball use in. The other way to take care of a spare is to be that clinical with the way that you move the footy, that it forces the spare defenders to have to come up and be accountable. So it's interesting to see whether they're going to back that in from the get-go or have a plan to make sure that they can't have Tom Stewart spare, as Brisbane did last week.
Players just taking the final steps out of the room. They'll head up the ramp, and they would be very, very excited about what they're about. Look at the smile on Callum Mills' face there. JB just can't wait. They're so good at preparing and saving themselves, aren't they?
They are. Never played against each other in a grand final, these two clubs, two formation clubs. They've both been elite for a long time.
Here they come. Have a listen to this. Plenty of Sydney fans here. I reckon this is an exciting time. This you really know you are here in the team.
Yeah, you can see a few people have got a bit sidetracked, forget for the photo, because normally you run it and go straight into the warm-up, but it's a nice, calm feeling before you go in there and start to warm up for such a big occasion, and that first bounce where every player in that photo wants to get a touch of the ball.
Plenty of support here for the Swans as they enter the arena. Of course, packed out stadium, tickets very, very hard to get. The Cats, what so many stories. Tui's 250th game, of course, in the grand final. Only Hodgie's done that before, and Joel Selwood, his 40th final, breaks Michael Tuck's record.
Max Holmes came out. I've got a statement here from the club saying, as a club, we decided the risk was too great to play Max today. He's done a remarkable job in preparing all week, ticked all the boxes. However, in the grand final, the risk was deemed too great. So he comes out, O'Connor comes in, and Parfitt will be the medical sub.
If the Cats happen to get up today, Hodgie, I'm not sure whether you're aware of the stat, they will be the oldest average age team in the history of football ever to play in any game.
And that's amazing. People are writing them off because of their age, but that's why they've been so good. They've been smart with how they've handled all their players, with Joel and Danger at times starting on the bench, but That's Chris Scott's got the ability to swap between positions, between tactics, because of the senior side and how mature they are.
That's a beautiful touch. What a champion that man on screen was, of course, for the Cats, premiership player. Father also a champion. They do those things really well, Geelong.
What a photo, eh? What a photo. And if you win at the end of the game, JB, it stands forever, that photo.
So, Hodgie, 5 of these you played in. What's going through your mind right now?
As a player, it's just trying to stay calm. You still know you're a good 15 or so minutes. You've got a lot to go through. But it's just about understanding your role, trying to simplify what you have to do, because it's big scheme of things, it's no different. But on the occasion with this crowd, there's 100,000 people screaming at you.
Is it just about you here, Hodgie, or are you looking out for other younger players that perhaps need a little bit of advice?
No, the senior players of both sides would have been looking at how their teammates are, because sometimes if some blokes are nice and calm and that's the way you want them to build up, and blokes like an Isaac Smith who you see running around laughing, joking, you want them just to have the natural build-up. So if you see blokes that are acting different to what they have in the past, that's where you sort of go across and have a bit of a word to them just to try and settle them down, because it's human nature that sometimes a big day like this can get the better of you.
And the pressure for the Swans, we're watching for that today, aren't we? That's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, that's been their strength all year. And, I mean, we speak about how good Geelong are defensively, but even the best defensive system relies on delay. So if Sydney can win the ball back, turn it over like they did against Collingwood, and then go back the other way, it's going to put Geelong under pressure.
Beautiful day we've drawn here in Melbourne. And we've got the ceremony and the bounce of the ball after this break.
What a day. Doesn't get any better than that. The MCG basked in sunshine today. Everyone from the concourse outside now inside the arena, formulating the 100,000 people that are in the MCG today to witness the first ever grand final between Geelong and Sydney. They've been entertained by the great Robbie Williams, and it has been a fantastic day, and we look forward to that to continue. Let's get down to our MC today, Hamish McLaughlin.
Thank you, BT. The AFL acknowledges the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, the traditional owners of the land on which we gather today, and pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. We acknowledge we play our game on this land and respect the cultures of all First Peoples, their contribution to our nation and to the game of Australian rules football. Would you all please welcome Premiership Cup Ambassador Basher Hooley. To hand over the 2020 Toyota AFL Premiership Cup to Geelong Cats champion Cameron Ling and Sydney Swans champion Paul Kelly. If you're able, would you now please rise, remove your caps, and join with Katie Noonan as she performs the Australian National Anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free, with gold and silver and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Since there have been 18 teams in our competition, Geelong have played 10 of the 11 final series and Sydney have played 9. They deserve their spot here. Premiership players and coaches, those two gentlemen. And after all the build-up, Daisy and Hodgie, everything exits the ground and we get down to this.
What I loved after that was the embrace between Selwood and Chris Scott. They've been captain coach for such a long time, such a great relationship between the two of them, but that embrace went for a good 5-6 seconds, a big hug.
Selwood going to start on the bench again today, Hodgie, as he does and has done the last couple of games.
Yeah, I think that's what they've been able to do, to sort of, one, make sure when he comes on he's got that energy.
All the best, mate. Good luck. All right, it'll be your call, Callum. When you're ready, just let it land on the ground. Heads or tails, cool? Tails. Tails is cool. It's a tail. Good luck.
So here we go, the 2022 AFL Grand Final. Can't go any further unless we ask Days and Hodgie who they think is going to win. What do you think today, Days?
Oh, Geelong by 28 points I've written down, but when you get to this stage in the season, I mean, obviously you deserve the right to be here and you're capable of winning. So it just comes down to moments, really. So I say Geelong, but I can think of plenty of ways that Sydney could win as well.
Couldn't agree more, Days. You look what Sydney's been able to do. Their small forwards, if they can put the pressure on the Geelong ball handlers. But Geelong have done nothing wrong, going for 16 wins in a row. I've got the same. I've got Geelong through 4 goals, but looking for a ripping game with that man Papali.
It's not that I can't find a reason for Sydney to win, it's that you can't find a reason to tip against Geelong. It feels like they've just got every base covered, plan A, B, C and D with the experience and depth that they've got. But this big stage and the Sydney pressure, it's a big task.
Con Hawkins, Buddy Franklin, two of the major players for their respective teams today.
Big noise.
Here we go.
History awaits. Here we go. Hickey standing under it. Dangerfield inching it forward. Stanley absorbs some early heat.
Handball.
Papley just getting boot to ball, wobbles it wide. Through comes Tui. Can't quite control it, now he can.
Still mate.
Inside 50 ball, and here we are, the Hawk. It found its way to that massive chest, and That's a Dom sheet angle if anyone's ever seen one.
But the breeze is beautiful for his particular shape here, JB.
On the mark. 15 gone.
They kicked a goal in the first minute last week. What a player Tom Hawkins has been. To bring the house down. Not quite.
Looks like Clark is going to go and stand on Tom Stewart, as you can see in the middle of the ground now. Clark on Stewart.
Thanks, Richo. Nick Blakey with a decision to make here from the kick-in. He's heading south. A beautiful-looking ball it is too. Papley couldn't quite hold on. Fierce pressure from Isaac Smith, who's been here before. Throw, that won't be advantage, and be a free ball going the Cats' way. I think it is Tom Hawkins. It is now. Hawkins unloads inside 50. Dangerfield got a little under the footy here. Gordon was there, went one hand, knocked down the Blitzarves. He snaps, and boundary umpire says it is out of bounds on the full.
Gary, stand.
Early going for the Cats. Cameron almost. There's Franklin. This is McInerney by hand.
Looks like Parker's keeping an eye on Paddy Dangerfield, and when Sydney get that ball, he'll be looking to try and work off him, make Pat run both ways.
Blitzarves now with Hickey. Good control there, and then kicked it straight into the back of Tyson Stengel.
Yeah, Stanley's automatically gone back behind the footy to make it a 2-on-1. Sam Reid and De Koning. That's why Blitzarves, just as in the prelim, is taking the ruck.
And then clean possession. High floating ball. The big forwards are there. Hawkins slaps it into the path of Close. Now back to Stengel. Brilliantly done, Rowbottom closing that down. Cats arrive in number.
Go through.
What a brilliant smother that was from James Rowbottom here on Stengel. Had to get there quick. Closed him down, as you say, JB. Hickey. Dangerfield. Through traffic. Goulden got the body in the way. It was well done. Parker now battling at the bottom of the pack.
This is the tactic from the Sydney forwards. With Stewart getting manned up, Buddy Franklin's going to De Koning because he's the person who they want free.
Hawkins so dangerous in this situation.
So the Cats are happy just to roll the defenders around there. Hodgie, they don't really mind who the loose is. Henry's the loose now.
Mark Blitzarves.
So attacking 50 here at the punt road end for the Cats. Guthrie being closely guarded. He's been a very good player for the Cats. The knockdown, McCartan to Rowbottom. Skies one high, but it's touched off the boot, so it won't be out of bounds on the full. It will be a boundary throw-in.
Sydney got a lot of numbers deep in there. They don't want any defensive 50 stoppages or goals.
All happening at the Cats' end early. Dangerfield again. O'Connor gets past him. Heaney comes and puts some heat.
High, Rowbottom.
Rowbottom with a free kick, so they get some relief here, the Swans. Hickey. Blakey. At his best.
Talk about moments in grand finals. Rowbottom started really well with a couple of big moments, the smother, then just went lower and harder to earn that free kick.
So it comes into Duncan. Swing it around. The Shane Warne stand side. De Koning. A couple of wobbly moments by foot for each club.
Gee, they do all that good work and then they toss it away.
First interchanges, Selwood on and Chad Warner.
Haywood, big ball in. Reid trying to get position at the back. All Geelong. Stanley dropped an uncontested mark in the end. Atkins in amongst it. He's going to be important for Geelong today. His fairness at the footy. His tackling, hardness. Hickey and Stanley. Soccer off the ground mark by De Koning here in the pocket. So just a little wary this time, Geelong. Not so easily throwing the footy around as he finds Kolajasny. Kolajasny can go short and take up the opportunity with Jed Buse. Buse, a little risky one over the top. Here they come. This is what they do to you, the Swans. The pressure. Hayward is being harassed by Tui. Ground level ball won by Parker. Dragged it in. Atkins nailed him in the tackle. Parker says, I haven't got it anymore. Doesn't matter. When you drag it in, you must get it out.
Got it. Must come out. Stand, Luke.
Good ball, Atkins. Duncan doesn't have to break stride. Just got pushed as he kicked, I reckon.
As he kicked. Ball's coming.
Example of that change in mindset from Geelong this year. A couple of repeat entries against.
Short here.
And then an aggressive kick out in front of Duncan to try and get them back the other way.
Kolajasny. Blitzarves. Sydney pretty happy to see that over.
Geelong forward line. Hawkins loves the front spot. Blakey over the back. Isaac Smith on his favoured left side. Inside 50, McInerney. Handball out wide, got to go. Florent, normally a good user, this time under some pressure. Goes out towards Franklin. Reid was there as well. Big collision. Ball hits the deck. The skipper, Selwood, quick to dispose of it. A little ball around the corner was smothered by Florent from Mitch Duncan.
You can see Geelong, they've had 19 kicks, 4 handballs. They don't want to over-handball to give Sydney the chance to put pressure on.
Wary start. Blitzarves. Mills. Now Smith. Here comes Cameron. Bounced off his chest. Fox. De Koning's hands are good. Short and Selwood's got it.
Play on, play on.
Error by foot. The Swans do something with this. Franklin has it fisted away. Stewart off the ground. Bouncing here in front of Stengel. Tyson Stengel gets corralled by Hickey. Eventually dumps a long one in the Blitzarves direction. It's got too much for him.
Stewart there just happy to bang it forward off the ground. They're just going for territory at the moment, hence the high kicking. Just want to get it into dangerous areas and put Sydney under pressure.
80% time in forward half for the Cats in the opening 9 minutes of this game. It's a lot of ball, no scores. Hawkins from the boundary throw in. We know how good he is, and he kicks the first goal in the 2022 grand final. Tom Hawkins, all year, in fact for a few years this has been happening. He's become a real weapon for stoppages inside 50 that he competes at. And he has been hard to stop.
Well, they'd had all the answers, Sydney, defensively. Been under a lot of pressure, but Tom Hawkins, that is vintage Hawkins. Hickey made the mistake of kind of taking his focus off the ball, got too conscious of what Hawkins might do. Just too strong. Bench pressed him off him.
Hickey wins this one. In the Franklin direction. Belted away from him. Zach Guthrie just. Henry dumps it out of there. Warner. Such a good season for Warner. Hayward just keeping it in. Franklin again. Bounces off the big chest. first time in the game, the Cats really having to defend hard. Selwood taken high.
Contact. No, stand.
Handball off here to Zach Guthrie. It's not going to get to him easy for Blakey.
Stand. Play on.
Just one mark. We've played 11 minutes of footy for the Swans so far. It was the second. So Clark now, just on the wing. Trying to be a little bit too cute with a lot of kicking, both sides here at the moment. Hickey forward, De Koning there with a good spoil. Heaney was thereabouts. Hughes was just hard at it, but he ran into a brick wall. He took him on. He tried to crash the wall. And this will be either a Mills or McLean free.
Stand.
It will go the way of Callum Mills. Simon Meredith, the umpire in charge here. Franklin saying, can you dump it there for me? Let's see if he can. He does. He puts it in the spot where Buddy asked for it. He climbs, no winner. Blitzarv's able to knock the ball down. Warner out the back. Blitzarv's with a little handball to close. He busts the row bottom tackle. Here go the Cats. Rowan's got it out wide. De Koning, but there's nothing on down the field, JB. So they've got to bring it back into close.
Really good ball to close. Brian Myers uses O'Connor. Selwood will as well, and then he'll get it back. The veteran goes in search of Duncan. Parker with him. Blakey off the ground, and O'Connor will take a simple mark.
Great example of what those small forwards do for the Cats. They get deep in defence, and then they get that run back towards goal. Myers and Close both involved then.
Olajasny. Ball here to Tui, but there's not much on. And Heaney's coming hard at him. Beautifully done, Isaac Heaney. De Koning. And Myers breaks it up, and Warner. They'll come back inside here, Sydney. Buddy coming at the footy, it just wasn't there for him. Guthrie. Now Duncan.
Duncan. Quick handball off. Here is Cam Guthrie, straight up the middle, changes direction, exciting play. Cameron on the lead. He too got under the footy. The ball knocked forward. Selwood almost. Cameron's got it. Took a little while to get rid of it. Pinged. Sydney's ball, centre half back.
Let him up. Sydney footy.
Matt Stevic officiating in his 10th grand final. Says it's all Sydney's ball.
Robbie Fox. McCartan and now Mills. They get some flow into their ball movement here, Sydney. Stevens. Always very good support when they play footy in Melbourne, the Sydney Swans. Stevens. De Koning coming at the ball, unable to take the mark. Warner. Haywood. Bottom centre just slid high. Guthrie.
We all thought it might be Dane Rampy to Jez Cameron, but Robbie Fox with that match up early and doing a good job.
So Cam Guthrie. To the back. Forward of the ball here is Hawkins. Sticks it very wide for Cameron. They get a ball in.
You can see how Geelong want to play. They've had 17 marks to Sydney's 6. They want to own the ball, try and make Sydney use energy by running defensively. And Geelong on the defensive side have been able to shut down a lot of Sydney's ball movement.
Chris Gordon, the All-Australian boundary umpire, throws it back in. Once again, Hawkins with an inside-out slider. He is brilliant at this. Hawkins, 2 goals out of 2 stoppages created by Hawkins. Incredible. What a start for him as he comes for a spell. He's done his bit inside 15 minutes, kicking the only 2 goals of the game.
Well, Sydney have 2 players off the back of the stoppage to try and stop that. Hawkins, we know that that's his strength. He grabs it out of the ruck contest, and he's that quick to put the ball to foot. Sydney have to get those spare plays in a little bit closer because he's going to continue to do that. so effective in the forward 50 for Geelong.
Row bottom, Parker off the ground. Zach Guthrie, and Heaney gets him.
Going the other way, guys. Thank you.
Back into the middle. Fox did well. Did really well. Lloyd. Nice ball for Papley. Papley to a dangerous spot. Ground level, Haywood. Sydney get there first. Very, very good medium-sized forward, Will Haywood. And a nice settler there for the Swannies.
It was Papley's work rate off the ball to get out in the open on the half-forward flank, which gave Sydney one of their 8 marks so far this quarter. But then you can see where they want to go as they go inside forward 50, kick to the top of the goal square, get Buddy and the like to make it contest to give their small forwards a crumbing goal opportunity.
Back to the middle we go once again. Reaching in the middle was Stanley. Did well. Guthrie ducking under the tackle. Little chip at a centre-half forward. A ricochet from Dangerfield onto Stengel, and now Cameron gathers and sees immediately Mitch Duncan. Sliding handball, Dangerfield out-manoeuvres Rowbottom. 55 metres out, long ball. Stanley should mark this, and he will. In fact, it's Blitzarves. And Blitzarves will have a shot at goal 25 metres out. 8.5 minutes remaining in the quarter. Didn't quite get the kick as he'd hoped, Dangerfield, off the side of the boot, but it worked for this man, Blitzarves. Going to run around on the left boot, does that now for their 3rd goal. They have got it. It's a fine start for the Cats. 18 minutes, 3 goals. Well done, Blitzarves. And they have owned this quarter, Geelong. Almost 80% of play in their forward half of the ground.
Well, this is the danger of Mark Blitzarves. Playing as a midfielder, push forward, and he's likely to have a mismatch. On that occasion, he had Parker. I reckon that's what Dangerfield saw late. Just pushed the ball out in space, gave it a bit of air, knowing that Blitzarves would have the height advantage in the air.
One down by Stanley. Dangerfield, how good was that? Now Stanley. Almost Isaac Smith. And now it is Isaac Smith. This is a hot start. This is a white hot start for Geelong. Knows plenty about this time of year, Isaac Smith. Hits the scoreboard.
Paddy set up the last goal by taking on the Sydney Swans defender. This time it was his desperation in the centre square to dive on the ball, feed it back. And it's just the liveliness of the Geelong forwards. As soon as the ball hits the ground, there'll be numbers flowing in behind. And Isaac Smith kicks his first goal.
So 4 goals to 1 it is. In the middle, what are they going to do here to stop this? Look at Dangerfield off his toes. Explosive out of the middle. Hawkins there, almost a pull of the arms. Hawkins looking for the handball. Not sure he made any contact at all. Now Fox under real pressure. The time has come. What does Sydney do here right now? Can they turn the tide? Geelong are owning the footy. Hayward trying to crash in and set the scene. Kolodjasny retrieves it. Got to Blitzarves, back to Kolodjasny, short ball, under enormous pressure now, Sydney, as Parker tidies up.
Good ball for Reid, they want to release it quickly here for Papley. Now Rowbottom, run down. I reckon he got boot to ball, but the umpire saw that he'd had enough time.
Come back on, stand, play on.
Tui. Brian Myers. Stanley wants to go long. Cameron Reid at best. Wheels and goes. Good defensive fist. Duncan, Selwood. Now Smith again. Isaac Smith. 2 in a row. What about this start for Geelong? Couldn't have scripted it better.
Well, they're running hard, Geelong, just absorbing the Sydney pressure. And a teammate just turns up. Every time Sydney looked like they're going to get the tackle on. Selwood fought through one, and then Isaac Smith just came through with so much momentum. Couldn't be stopped. Hot start.
Hot start indeed. 5 goals to 1. Little knock down here to Blitzarves. Out of the middle they go again. Selwood. All up here, I would expect.
The Swans just can't get any relief in this game at all because they're just simply not winning the footy around the contest. It's plus 16 already in that area, so they can't get their hands on it and then take a bit of heat out of the game because the Cats are just red hot in the contest. And when the Sydney Swans do get it, they're closing down space so quickly, they just can't get any heat out of this early.
Hickey. Here is Stewart running off the back of the circle. Long ball in, McCartan able to work Hawkins under the footy nicely. Now it's a race back. McCartan wins, but a little fumble, and Geelong lock it in their forward end.
Everything's forward for the Cats, isn't it? Forward with speed. You'd just be panicking as a defender. They're not overusing it, just getting it, running with the footy and driving it in.
Close. Now Warner. Rampy. Cat in his face and got nothing on it.
They're always forcing you back, the Swans.
Short
Cats.
one here to Brian Myers.
That's the issue there with Hawkins taking 2 out of the ruck. Sydney put extra numbers in and around the defensive 50 stoppage. So when the kick gets forced out, you've got blokes like Selwood who are sitting out there all by himself.
15 gone.
This will take some kicking. Very clever. Young footballer Brian Myers got a great shot of it here. Never got it online.
Not a style you recommend, JB. One that's worked for him, though.
Stand here.
And he understands it best. So what do you do for Sydney here, Hodgie? What are you doing now to stop this avalanche of attack by Geelong?
Normally what you want to be doing is maintaining the possession, but that's Geelong's defensive structure is doing that by itself. They just can't get the ball out of their D50 with any fluent ball movement.
Clark. Stewart just tough and ready to compete. Isaac Smith absorbing the tackle. McInerney was on him. Now the Coning's got to avoid the Clark tackle. Myers was first to win to the ball. They just can't get hold of the footy at the moment, Sydney. The kick around the corner, it's fortuitous to Selwood. He nails one back inside to Stengel. He loves to go. He's got a one-on-one coming deep in the boundary line here. A high ball punched away by Mills. It was well done. Rampy couldn't cut it off. And once again, into attack for the Cats.
BT, this is a change of mindset from the Geelong coaching staff. How aggressive the Geelong ball movement's been in past years. They've not been doing that. They've dominated the inside 50s of late, and the aggressive ball movement's really hurt the Sydney defence.
Out of the last 10, Hodgie, as we just saw, Guthrie Another fantastic season for him. Smith's kicked a couple. Selwood, Stengel, the All-Australian. Good fist, McCartan. Myers this time. Bouncing ball and a behind.
We've pulled the trigger on Mills behind the ball now as well for a bit of relief. And he's there as an extra body for a bit of an aerial presence to stop goals, but also give them an extra number to be able to chain the ball out and try and regain control in this game.
7 scoring shots to 1 in the opening 26 minutes of the grand final. De Koning, lovely spoil. Smith, little kick in, read well close.
That's the hard thing about putting Mills behind the ball. You're giving Geelong what they want. They've got extra numbers behind the ball for himself, and they've been using the ball so well.
They have not had one chance in this game, really, this Sydney Swans defence, just to get their setup how they want and have a deep breath. They've been defending basically the whole quarter.
Geelong have never kicked 6 goals in an opening quarter of a grand final, and this is an opportunity for Close to do so. Right over his shoulder. It's a bit of a floater, but somehow it's on course. Somehow it wobbles through, and they have got 6.
Here's Chris Scott, who put his head on the pillow last night, could not have dreamt of this start.
Wow. They are blowing them away. So Days and Hodgie, there's 3 minutes 20 left in the quarter. They are being blown away here. 1 or 2 more goals and it could well be all over. What do they do now?
Days mentioned before about putting Mills behind the ball just to try and slow things down. They got 3 minutes left on the clock. Get a composed possession, switch it out wide, just try and run this clock down, because it's been a damaging start from Geelong. So powerful from the stoppages.
Papley, little touch on that. McInerney tried to slap it forward. Blitzarv's got the arms clear. Guthrie, in they go again, and here's Cameron.
Trouble with Mills behind the ball. It's just a band-aid solution, really, at the moment. They're getting beaten out of the middle. They've got to find a way to win some more contested possession in the middle of the ground and clearance. Fight for a secondary stop. Oh, Cameron on the run-up.
To bust this out to a 38-point lead, Jeremy Cameron. Oh, took a fair bit of the post.
It pretty much comes back to just winning some contests, though, now. I mean, they've been absolutely blown away in that area. So, I mean, their defence is under siege because of that. It's just simply, you know, players are going to put their hand up and win a contest when it's in their vicinity.
So Lloyd from fullback, able to play on to Fox. Struggling to get it over the halfway mark, and here's another example of that. De Koning. This defensive end of Geelong have just clamped them up the ground and not let it through, and now 50-metre penalties are going to intrude as well. This will bring Guthrie inside the 50.
50, mate. Thank you.
Against Buddy Franklin there. And so Cam Guthrie, Zach Guthrie,
2 metres, that way.
will have a shot from right on the 50 line.
Errol, move.
For a 7th first quarter goal.
Blue Parker.
To make it a whopping 39-point difference. Zach Guthrie from directly in front. Plenty of momentum in the run-up. He's got the journey. It's about the accuracy, and that is off. So that is 10 scoring shots to 1 in the first quarter with time left.
Lloyd, game number 200. To Rampy. Again, just got to go high and long. Smith playing a hell of a first quarter. Back to Henry. Fox in front but couldn't hang on.
Thank you, Mark.
Richo mentioned before, they're plus 21 from contested possessions, which that means they're going into their forward 50 with very open space. Whenever Sydney have got it in, it's been congested.
This is the highest first inning score conceded by Sydney all year. Now they've got a little opening. Buddy can't quite find Papley, but he puts a really good tackle on.
Little things like that might be able to just turn it a little bit in their favour.
Yeah, that's 100% BT. Just find a way that ball gets to ground. Even a stoppage, that's a win. Reset the field.
Yep, well done, Buddy Franklin. It's his first real opportunity. And now the ball out wide here to Stevens. Handball had to go forward, McInerney. And pressure forces him over the line, but they've at least got it at their forward end. Can they hold it in here and create an opportunity in the last minute of this first quarter?
This is where, as forwards, they've got to get to work, get desperate, try and force this ball to stay in their front half.
Selwood saying we're just going to be conservative here in this last minute. Plenty of Sydney players here. Hickey now looking for an opportunity to create.
Selwood.
Geelong. Mark.
Beautiful one-on-one win over McInerney. Back to Henry. Duncan by foot, normally very good. That's no exception. Beautiful ball for Kolajasny. O'Connor in a one-on-one with Stevens. They're winning all of them. O'Connor to a dangerous spot where Blitzarves has got about 4 to beat in the air. McCartan. And they concede.
Wow. What an onslaught. I reckon this quarter-time break couldn't come quick enough for John Longmire to get out there and formulate plan B, because that's what it's going to require. Just a couple of seconds left here in this game. Longmire coaching from the bench today. There'll be no time to score. Geelong fans, get up, enjoy the moment. You're 35 points in front at quarter-time in a grand final. What can John Longmire and his team conjure up? It's the Cats by 35.